You all ready for Bible study? Alright, let's get in it. Oh. My bad. Sentence of death. Pilate, the Roman governor, came out when the Jews brought Yahshua to the place of the palace courtyard. Of what do you accuse this man? He asked them. He has stirred up the people from Galilee to Jerusalem, setting himself up as Christ, a king. Now Herod Antipas was in Jerusalem, so Pilate sent Yahshua to the king. Herod had long wanted to see him and hoped he would do some miracle. But as Yahshua said and did nothing, Herod sent him back to Pilate, who summoned Yahshua to the judgment hall and asked him, "Art thou the king of the Jews?" "I am the king," said Yahshua. "But my kingdom is not of this world. I have come to show men the kingdom of truth." "What is truth?" Pilate said, half scornfully. Yahshua still would not answer the chief priest's accusations. Then Pilate's wife sent a message, "Have nothing to do with that innocent man. I suffered much in a dream about him." So Pilate went out to the crowd. I find no fault in him at all," he declared. "But you have a custom that I release to you a prisoner at Passover. Shall I release the king of the Jews?" The priests urged on the people, and they shouted, "Not this man, but Barabbas." Now Barabbas was a revolutionary who had also committed murder. Pilate decided that Yahshua should be whipped and then released. When the soldiers had scourged him, they made him a crown of thorns, put a reed in his right hand, and gave him a purple robe. Then they mockingly bowed to him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews." Yahshua was brought out, still wearing the crown and the purple robe. "Behold the man," said Pilate. The chief priests, the officers, and the people with them cried out, "Crucify him! Crucify him! Take him yourselves and crucify him. I find no fault in him at all." Then the Jews said to Pilate, "We have a law by which he ought to die, because he made himself out to be the Son of God." When he heard this, Pilate was afraid. Again, he examined Yahshua. "Where dost thou come from?" "Thou knowest I have power to crucify thee." Yahshua said, "Your power can only come from above." Once more, Pilate tried to secure Yahshua's release. But Caiaphas and his followers said to him, "If you let this man go, You will be involved in treason against Caesar. Whoever makes himself out to be a king sets himself against the emperor. At 9 o'clock in the morning, Pilate brought Yahshua out for the last time to the people. Here is your king, he said. Away with him. Crucify him, they cried. Shall I crucify your king? Pilate asked them. We have no king but Caesar, said Caiaphas. Pilate saw that he could do nothing and that a riot was developing. So he washed his hands before the crowd, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this good man. This is your business, they answered. His blood be on us and on our children. Then the soldiers took Yahshua and led him away to crucify him. So, this energy plays out in your life in one of many ways. But the main way is when you're isolated from a group that you once called friend, or a family that you once held close, or work partners that you once were exalted in. They act like they never knew you at all, and yet you did nothing wrong. Sometimes this energy plays out on purpose because, like Yahshua, he was too bright, too good at what he did, too awesome. Filled with awe, miracles, light, love, compassion, all the things that everyone around him lacked, and that made everyone around him jealous, envious, angry, martyrs. So, just like you, just like me, just like Yahshua, we all will go through this. This is the example. This is who we become when we face ourselves. To be crucified for how good you perform in your everyday job, at home, being a father, at school, being a student, or a teacher, amongst your friends, at dinner with your family. These things happen. It is just the way it goes. When you get to the point of ascension, from survival mode into thrival mode. I just made that up, but it fits. You will experience the major arcana maybe 3 times, one for each chakra, until you're in your heart chakra. And then from your heart all the way up, you will experience the major arcana either faster or slower depending on the other 7 chakras that are intertwined with the original 7. But they move different. The energy is lots longer. And it's faster. But as you work through, you'll start to see signs of the major arcana intertwining with the story of Jesus and Yahshua, same person, Jesus / Yahshua. And when you do this, you'll be able to really nail down what's going on in your life. You know, there's a lot to be learned with these stories and their perspectives. For instance, Caiaphas, the noble antagonist to Pilate, the unwilling protagonist, to the chief priests and officers, you know, the repulsive antagonist, to Yahshua, the harmonious protagonist. He knew what was to come. He just wasn't there for it. He was in another place. It's what he learned. It's how he learned it. You see, during the crucifixion and all those things, he learned how to astral travel and not to be in his body when it was being torn apart with the whip. He was there for the humiliation and the pain. But he was somewhere else entirely, in his spirit and mind. That's how we do it, you know? That's how we do it. That's how you're able to pull through. No matter what painful experience you endure in life, you don't have to be present for it. And that makes it easier to endure. It's just something you can choose to face when you're ready. Little by little, you know? As long as you're making progress and steps, you'll get there eventually. That's what I believe anyways. Let's move on. Today's card. The Two of Swords. Peace. upright interpretation. Difficult choices are marked by two of swords. The fool stands at a crossroads, and no matter which route she takes, the road ahead will be bumpy. Darkness hides the fool's circumstances surrounding this choice. Without information, she is indecisive. Even if facts are obvious, there may be denial or stalling, hoping that if she waits long enough, the decision will be made for her. Reversed. The stalemate is more painful, stressful, and overwhelming. Each direction contains great worry, anxiety, and pain. Every path has its own special brand of grief. There may be too much data to process, and making a choice now can create great inner turmoil. The longer the fool waits, the more pressure there will be. The clock is ticking, and sometimes any choice is better than none. Whoops. Let's go to the angelic realm. Father, guide me. Gadael. Associated Faith, Judaism. Gadael will help you maintain positive outlook, repair a damaged relationship, improve your job performance, transform your life, release limiting beliefs, and create abundance. Invocation. One way to call upon Gadael is to go outside when the wind is blowing. Invite the wind to carry your prayers to him. His name has great power, so say Gadael repeatedly while you ask for his assistance. Is also a wonderful way to invite him closer. You can also close your eyes and imagine that your request is tied to a beautiful balloon. Take a few deep breaths, and then when the time feels right, imagine letting go of that balloon. Know that Gadael will answer your prayers. Alright, time for the demonic room. Father, guide me. Fairies. Beings who occupy the middle realm between earth and heaven. Fairies have magical powers and are associated sometimes with demons and fallen angels. In lore, they are capable of bewitching and possession, requiring exorcism. Fairy organites. They originate. It's the first time I ever read that word. I'm reading a whole lot more now, though. Originate from the Latin word fatia, or fate, and evolved from fari, a state of enchantment. According to lore, fairies themselves do not like the word. They prefer to be called by more respectable names, such as the good neighbors, the gentry, the people of peace, the strangers themselves, the Seelie. Seelie means blessed. Court, the Seelie court, the blessed court. And other terms, fairies are often referred to as the little people. In medieval times, fairies sometimes described women who had magical powers. That's cool. That's cool. Oh my goodness. So the origins. Souls of the unbaptized and pagan dead, trapped between heaven and earth, guardians of the dead, living in the underworld that exists between the living and the dead. They have the power to take people, and when they do, those people die. Ancestral ghosts, fallen angels, cast out of heaven with Lucifer, sentenced by God to the elements of earth where they act as demons. Nature spirits who are attached to particular places. The four elements, for example, symphs of the four elements, symphs of the air, gnomes of the earth, undines of the water, and salamanders of fire. You seen that in Frozen too. Supernatural creatures who are shape-shifting monsters from half human to half monster. Small human beings, primitive faces. Oh my goodness. And so much more. That's neat. That's neat. And it goes on. Like, it goes on. But that's cool. Well, again, whether you believe it or not, it's always up for interpretation. But around here, anything's possible.